Hello, everybody. How's it going today? I hope you're having a fine evening or day or morning wherever you're at. I am back today with another video. A few days ago, I posted a guide video on my thoughts on how to play a Magicka DK. Proposed a bunch of different gear sets, different things you can run, different skills. And as I talked about before with other videos, if you're just stumbling onto my channel now, what I want to do with this channel is I don't want to, I will post some highlights. I will post, some more fun clips and everything just so everybody gets to see these fights in real time. But I also want to discuss some of these fights in more detail. And I want to be able to talk about, as a Magicka DK, how do you encounter dealing with a Magicka Templar? How do you deal with a Magicka Sorc? How do you deal with a Nightblade? All of these sorts of things. And I think that's important because one of my favorite things to do in this game right now is I like to, I'll talk to my friends about their classes, their builds, whatever, and I'll go through, and tell them what I'm running, how I'm running it, and all that stuff. But they put together the setup, they put together the skills on their bar, and I can't tell you how many times, more often than not, they go, you know what, that build's not working for me. That build's not working. It's not good. It's not good for me. I know they say, I know you do well with it, but I'm not doing well with it. And that caught me off guard at first because it didn't make much sense to me. But some of it is your personal playstyle, and certain people's playstyle is going to be different. And so my build or how I run Magicka DK is going to be different than others. But then some of it is not under me not informing them and showing them how I play this class, how I pick and choose my fights, and all that stuff's important. Where and how you pick a fight on a certain class is going to make or break whether or not you kill a group or you respawn. And a lot of that is trial and error, and a lot of that's learning. And some people just want to, I get that, and some people just want to hop on to ESO and they want to play a class, and they want to play a build that's successful and that they know they can kill people with, and then that's all they want to do. Me personally, I am extremely stubborn, and I will sit and I will try stuff. I will test new things, and I will keep going back. I'm basically a glutton for punishment in this game because I like to figure things out. And I will go back and I will fight an outnumbered fight over and over and over again, and just because I want to figure out what I can do. If I think I can win, I'm going to keep going back. And so I pick up on things along the way, like how to deal with people in certain situations, how to do, certain fights. And because of that trial and error, I feel like I have, a lot of information I can share, especially with people that are, new to Magicka DK or new to this type of play style, or, think it looks interesting, but they don't want to get destroyed, because this isn't, in open world PvP, Magicka DK is not an easy class. There are a lot, being able to have movement speed, have stealth, have high burst, that's really valuable in open world PvP. This class doesn't have any of those things. You have a lot of dots, and you're tanky, and you don't really have movement speed. And so if you run across a large group, you die, you respawn, and you come back. That's just kind of the way it is. But that doesn't mean it's not fun. That doesn't mean that you can't have a lot of fun playing this class. It doesn't mean you can't win outnumbered fights playing this class. So with all that being said, I have a pretty long video today. I really wanted to dive into this class. I really wanted to get you guys clips, talk through some things, discuss some of the fights I had, explain my reasoning for why I did what I did. I'm not the best Magicka DK. I'm not Scaffa. If you guys don't know who Scaffa is, definitely look him up. He is a monster on this class, and he makes. Basically, there's Scaffa that makes this class look amazing, and then there's a few other people, and then there's everybody else that that's just the way it is. But most people play a Magicka DK as a tank, and most people don't play it as like an offensive skill or as an offensive class, and that's how I'm playing mine. So if you're interested in this, please continue. I have a guide video on my YouTube channel. Just look it up. It's Magicka DK Guide. It discusses, like I said, what I talked about before, just setups. I'm running 5 Seducer Heavy, 5 Rattle Cage, and I'm running either 2 Grotthar, 2 Scoria, or 2 Bloodspawn in these clips. It just kind of depends. Like, I'm bouncing back and forth, trying to figure out what I like the most. Just really depends on the fight, depends on what I'm running across. I have them all on my character. So, yeah, with all that being said, let's dive into it. So this first fight is in Nobles, and I'm with my buddy, and we killed 3 or 4 people right before this, and we're going to take the flag. Now, red spawn over here to the right, and we killed a bunch of people, and now we're going to go try and take the flag, flip it, get our AP, get our NPCs. And there's about 8 reds that were bouncing around in this district. There's a group of 8, and there's a couple groups of like 2 or 3. So there was quite a few. So we were a little concerned about this flag. We weren't sure how many people were going to be on here, so we just kind of jump in really quick. And all of a sudden, you kind of see people coming out of the woodwork. You see the meteor on my friend there. You see the bats. You see shards going up in the air. There's a Nova dropped. We now have 3 ultimates dropped on us. I have a meteor dropped on me now. I'm getting radiant spammed. Now, the nice thing about a Magicka DK is we are tanky. DK passives are meant to take damage. We run wings on our back bar to reflect projectiles. I really haven't yet found a reason to take wings off my bar. I've tried it a few times, but there's just too many things that really screw people over to where it makes it useful to have wings. So that's why it's still in our bar. Yeah, let me preface some of this stuff. Everything a Magicka DK can do, every single skill that they have, you can block cast. And what block casting is you hold block and you can still get a skill off. So if you hold block, you can do block plus Burning Embers, you could do block plus Flame Lash, block plus anything on your bar. So when you're getting a lot of heat like this and you're on your back bar like I am, and you get a meteor dropped on you, you can hold block, you can hit Igneous, you can hold block, you can hit Coagulating. And you can see that, like I took some damage, but I still have 16,000 health. I lost quite a bit of stamina because I'm taking a lot of incoming stuff. I didn't get CC'd, and now I'm just going to get out. So I'm gonna pop my Coagulating, and I'm going to Mistform. And now they're trying to Radiant spam me, but I popped my heal right before I got there. And now we're going to line of sight, because we're not sure how many are right there. It looked like at least 5. I mean, we got hit with 4 ultimates. My buddy got hit with a meteor, I got hit with a meteor, bats, Nova, just a bunch of stuff. And we knew there was at least 8. So we decided to go in this room. We want to get a line of sight. And as a Magicka DK, fighting open world, you want to find areas you can kind of line of sight around, because you don't want to take a bunch of incoming damage. You don't have high damage shields. You don't have movement speed to where all of a sudden you can get out of it. So you need to kind of camp corners a little bit when you're fighting severely outnumbered. So we killed a guy right there. He over pursued, chased us. We 2v1'd him. And that's what you have to kind of do in an outnumbered situation, is you get in spots to where you turn a fight that is unmanageable into something that's manageable. We run across a Sork here, and you saw him go to hit me. I saw he was a Sork right away. He had pets. I put my wings up, because now we can reflect most of the damage that he has coming into us. See him pop a Destro ulti. We know we have like 6 people behind us. They're going to spawn right away right over there. Instead of fighting right by their spawn, we're trying to back away. We're trying to get to line of sight, get to something more manageable. So in Nobles, there's this room over here. We have a Destro ulti, so we're going to go into Mistform, and we're going to take reduced damage while we're in here. We're going to not get snared, and we're just going to kind of lock this down and see who comes in here after us. So we see the Sork comes in. And what we're going to do is, as a Magicka DK, we're more of a frontline character. As a Magicka DK in a group, it's kind of our job to be in the front to take damage, because we can reflect. We can CC through block, can apply dots. We're more tanky than my friend who's a Stam Sork here. I have bats. Basically, we're focusing the Sork because the Sork has shields, and you know, it's easier to take down a Sork if we see him at the right time than it is to take down like a heavy armor player. And you'll see that here. Even though he has Necro, more than likely, this guy's a Templar and he can purify all my dots. And that's always a rough spot to be at for a DK, is running across either a Magicka Templar or a Stamina Templar that can just purify everything. So he spawned, he came right back, and we're just going to apply our dots on him. We're going to hit him with our Burning Breath. We're going to hit him with our Embers, which is a heal, and we're going to lock him in Talons. So now he has 3 dots on him, and then we're going to start hitting him with whips. And so we killed him really quickly. We're going to leap on this guy to get a little bit more resources. That was a pretty poor leap, but we were low on sustain, and we're trying to get some back right there because we weren't sure who was going to come back. Popped a tripod here. So now we have, 5 kills? Yeah, 5 kills. And they're going to keep coming back. So we're just going to line aside a little bit. I had a friend that was coming in. We knew there's a big group in here. It was a pretty good fight, so I was trying to get an invite there, but he came in too quickly. Once again, we're applying our dots, and then we're hitting him with whips, because that Burning Breath is going to make our whips hit 10% harder. It's going to make our Embers hit 10% harder. It's going to make our Talons hit 10% harder. All of that is beneficial, so that's the first thing we want to do. We want to go in, and we want to apply those. We see a Destro ulti here. We nuke the guy with we try to nuke that guy. We have a 3-on-3 right now. It turned into a 3-on-2 really quickly. We're hitting with Inhale because it's not only is our Inhale an AoE, it also is an interrupt. So if they go to revive that guy and I hit them with an Inhale, I interrupt the revive. If they hit me with a Dark Flare, I interrupt that. If they're hard casting a frag, I interrupt that. And then that causes us to do more damage. So with a DK in a group play situation, our goal is to lock everybody in Talons so that they can't get wherever they want, hit them with a bunch of damage. With our AoE damage, we're going to hit our Inhale, we're going to hit our Burning Breath, because those are both AoEs, and then we're going to see who takes damage. And then we're either going to focus a healer, or we're going to focus who's not healing or stacking wards properly. So that's kind of our thought process on the fight, and we're going to discuss with our group who we're taking out. So this guy's kind of a tank, so we're going to ignore him. This guy right here. But we see the Sork come in. So now we're going to try and focus the Sork again because, he's running wards. He's a little bit easier to kill than like a heavy armor Templar or a heavy armor DK. So we're going to leap on him. We're going to try and take him out. We don't take him out here. We're locking these guys in Talons. We get negated. And negate's not good for us, obviously. It inhibits our ability to use our Magicka. So we need to get out of there. We're going to spam a couple Igneous. We're going to try and stay in the front and lock people down so our buddies can get up here to get line of sight. You'll see here I'm running really low on Magicka. We've actually had a pretty long fight now, so I'm just trying to wait for my potion to come back. I get knocked doon, and now all of a sudden we saw 4 up there. We see 3 down here, and then there's another one. So that other group came back. So we have like a 3-on-8, 3-on-7, 3-on-8, 3-on-9, something like that. So I'm low on resources. My buddies are low on resources. They kept fighting. They kept coming right back. So now what we want to do is we want to kite a little bit more again. We're going to use our Mistform. You see I got Dragon Leaped. You see I'm getting ulti dumped. I'm getting gap closed. I'm trying to get resources back right there just so I can keep going because I'm low on resources. I'm just basically in survival mode at this point. Yeah. Now here comes another leap. So we made the mistake there of fighting in a spot to where they can constantly come back. And because I was running low on resources, we knew that even if we killed half that group, they were just going to spawn, they were going to drop down, and they're going to keep fighting us. So fighting where we were fighting was a losing scenario for fighting Reds. We're not far enough away from their spawn point to where we can kill all of them and then wait for them to respawn and come back. It's just going to be a never-ending fight that we're inevitably going to lose because we don't have unlimited regeneration. As a Magicka DK, you either have unlimited resources or you have damage and you can kill people. And the way the game is right now, I try to opt for as much damage as possible, even though there's some people it's just really hard to kill them 1v1 due to what's going on. So we get leaped here. We're just surviving. We're gonna kite a little bit more. We're gonna drop down here. You saw my buddy died. We aggro the boss here, and now we're just gonna Mistform. we're gonna try and misform away a little bit, but we're getting focused. And you can see here that I'm getting hit with Power of the Light. You can see how tanky I am, how much damage I'm able to take, and now I'm just literally out of resources. And if it wasn't for me being completely out of resources right there, I would have been able to continue to fight. I ended up getting killed by the boss. I was out of resources. I couldn't heal. The fight ended there, but we had a really good little group fight. All right, so this next one, we're taking a resource here. Me and my buddy, we're in Temple. And all of a sudden we see Soul Tether, Proxy Soul Tether. We see a DK come in. And yeah, we just get ulti dumped. And all of a sudden you see a Dark Flare. So now there's at least 3 people. Now the first thing we're going to do, as you saw there, is we're going to try and lock them in Talons, and we're going to inhale. We're going to inhale, lock in Talons, really try and keep them in place so they stay off our buddy a little bit. They stay locked down, and we're just going to kind of see who's doing damage. Because although we don't have burst, we do have pretty decent sustain, and our dots are inevitably going to wear on somebody, and we're going to really focus them. Sorry, just taking a drink here. Yeah, so we have a proxy. We had a proxy off in the distance, and my buddy's getting focused pretty hard. So we're just trying to lock people down in Talons. We see this Jay Sadler guy. He popped corrosive armor, so we know he can't really die. So we were trying to take out that Templar. So I'm inhaling right here, and you can see, you know, I'm wearing Grothar, and we see another person show up. So now we're just trying to see who we have. So we have a Templar, and we have a Stam DK with corrosive, so we know he's probably pretty tanky. And then we have this guy right here, which is a Magicka Nightblade. And some Magicka Nightblade bomb builds currently are not running a healing ward. So this guy more than likely is going to be wearing light armor. He might not have a ward that he can wear on his bar. And so this guy is going to be easier to kill, and he's also going to do the most damage in the group. So what I have found is, although healer is typically who you first focus, if you find a Magicka Nightblade bomber, you try and take him out first, because you know they're actually pretty easy kills. So you see we're hitting with our inhale, we're hitting with our Noxious. Tell my buddy, like, hey, we got to focus this guy right away. That's the guy we got to hit. And now we're focusing on the Templar. Templar is doing a pretty good job. He's using Mistform to stay alive. He's not purifying our dots that well. So the nice thing about Purify is Purify removes 5 dots on you. So if you're a Templar and you're running the 5-dot Purify, you basically negate all of the dots I put on you. My Talons is 2, my Burning Breath is 1, and my Burning Embers is also 1. And so I have to apply 3 skills on you for 4 dots, and you can remove that with 1 Purify. And so that's kind of a little bit of an annoying part of this game, because a lot of Magicka DK's DPS revolves around applying dots, stacking dots to really put pressure on people. And there's a class out there that can literally just remove everything that you do. And they're like, okay, well, now you're not doing dot damage anymore, and I'm going to heal to full. It's a frustrating part of the fight. There's just as many frustrating things that Templars have against Magicka DKs. I'm not saying that. All I'm trying to say is it's currently just an annoying fight to deal with killing a Templar. So you just have to be aware of it. You have to know what you can do and you can't do, and move on. So we were trying to focus the Templar. My buddy accidentally dropped his meteor on this DK, and I'm running Soul Assault. Now, I've gone back and forth on a few ultimates, and I even said that I was running Meteor and Dragon Leap in my video. And I do run Meteor and Dragon Leap, but what I've found lately that I really like is, I apply my dots, my Grothar goes off, I do a ton of damage, and if a Stamina Nightblade tries to run away from me to heal up, or if a Stam Sword tries to do the same thing, I just pop a Soul Assault on him, and I hit him hard. And now, even though I'm not running a gap closer, I can do a bunch of damage, and I can also drain the resources, because now they have to, as I've talked about before with Soul Assault, you have to block and heal through it. And if you don't do that, it's going to melt you. And so a good recovery class, or a very tanky class with good sustain, is going to be able to survive this. But at the same time, it does, even if I don't kill you, it does a number on your resources, and the next time we apply it, it could kill you. So my buddy dropped a meteor, we see him drop to low health, and now we're just soul assaulting, and he's hitting him with radiant, and it's over. So now we have a 2-on-1. So 2-on-4 turn into 2-on-1. We're going to apply our dots. Buddy's going to put Purifying Light on. We're going to make sure all of our stuff is up, hit him with whips, fight's over. Take the flag, and then move on to the next one. Next fight is literally the exact same thing. You know, we're walking to the next district. These guys come out of stealth. It's the exact same people. So we know that there's 2 Magic Templars. We know that there's a Magic Nightblade bomb somewhere, and we know that there's a Stam DK. Now you see early on in the fight, they're Dark Flare spamming me, which is, you know, you can hear the Dark Flare go off. You have enough time to react. So that's why we pop our wings right there. It's going to reflect back, do 30% more damage. And now both these Templars have Major Defile on them, and they have to purify it. If they don't, their healing is going to be reduced by 30%. And that's another benefit of having wings on your bar. It's because if I didn't do that, they were just going to keep Dark Flare spamming me. And it would have kept Major Defile on me. It does a bunch of damage. I can't dodge roll Dark Flare since I'm the Magicka DK, so it's better to reflect it. So I reflected it. We're applying a bunch of dots right here. This guy purifies, which is good. They're both spamming Breath of Life. My buddy puts a Soul Assault on the Templar, accidentally hits Radiant on the other guy. We see this lower level Templar, and we're going to focus him because it looks like he's wearing light, and it looks like he's taking a bunch of damage. He's really eating my dots, even though he purified and healed. Now we're going to go to focusing on the other Magicka Templar. I made a mistake here. I forgot to tell my buddy I had a Soul Assault. Was trying to tell him to put Purifying Light on. I should have told him to put Purifying Light on, because then that would have caused the dot to explode for even more. You just see every time he purifies, I'm reapplying my dots. So when you apply your dots, if you see a Templar purify, they're all off. So reapply your dots, reapply your Burning Breath, reapply your Embers, because your Embers is a heal. It's a burst heal. It's for good. It's a very strong heal for as long as it's on the person, and it'll help you sustain a little bit if you're running a little bit less recovery than even I'm running. You know, ideally, you want to put your Burning Embers on as many people as possible so you have all these heals coming in an outnumbered fight. So I'm hitting with Burning Breath here. I'm hitting him with Embers. And we're just going to keep locking him in Talons, and we're going to keep wearing him out. And you see he's just on the defensive right now. He's locked into Talons. He's trying to purify. He just popped bats on us. It's not that big of a deal. We're going to keep hitting him with Embers. We're going to inhale. We're going to CC him. And now my buddy's sitting with a Soul Assault, and he's down. And so now it's us versus the DK. The other Templar comes back. We're going to leave the DK alone. We're going to focus on the other Templar again. So I CC'd him there. I blocked him in Talons, and now he's trying to get away. You know, once again, like, just too much pressure in a 2-on-1 situation right there with what we have. This guy's at low health. I have a Soul Assault. Pop my Soul Assault. He's dead. So you see they're just coordinating, really trying to focus people. And as long as we see Purifying Light, anytime you see Purifying Light or Power of the Light, you want to apply your dots to that person the most, because then it forces the Templar to purify more. Because as we said, we're running 4 dots with our setup. Purifying Light is a dot. Vampire's Bane is a dot. It's more pressure in an outnumbered situation to put all those on a Templar and really force them to spam Breath of Life and attempt to put a drain on their resources. So yeah, this is another fight in the arena, and we see there's a bunch there. I think there's like 4 or 5, and they were killing the boss. We saw at least 4 or 5, and so now we're just going to back up. There's spawns on the other end, so we're trying to fight on this end so that if we kill this group, they don't spawn back right away. It's going to be a really hard fight for us to fight outnumbered on their flag to where the NPCs are negating. They outnumber us, and we're both Magicka classes. If my buddy gets negated, he can't heal. If I get negated, I can't heal, and I have to break CCs. NPCs in Imperial City are just super rough. So we see 3 here, and we're just trying to figure out who it is. Like, I'm doing a bunch of AoE damage, healing up, and locking him in Talons. You saw Burning Breath there, another Inhale, another group of Talons, a Leap there because we saw him kind of get to low health. Basically, I think 3 out of the 4 of these guys were Templars. So this is going to be a tough fight for us because of how strong their healing was. Our Inhale is a heal based on how many people it is. So when you see all these people, you want to make sure your inhales are going off all the time. You want to get your talons, you want to get your inhale, then you want to apply your burning embers, and you want to apply your burning breath. So the more damage your burning embers does, the better it heals you. And so your burning embers and your burning breath go hand in hand with how good your healing is. So yeah. So here we're just really trying to avoid damage. If we lock them in talons, they either have to dodge roll or they purify. A good Templar will purify these dots, like I said. A bad Templar will dodge roll. And if one dodge rolls, we have them right where we want them. Because they dodge roll out of the talons, they overreact, they didn't purify the dots, and now they're lower on stamina, so our next fossilized is really going to drain the resources. So you see here, I'm just trying to lock them in. I hit burning embers right there, I hit burning breath. I want to hit the entire group. My buddy hits a soul assault on this guy. He's at low health, I hit him with an inhale, and yeah, now a 2-on-4 turned into a 2-on-3. This guy's locked in talons, we're hitting with the dots again. He's just spamming pure breath of life. We have a sniper in the back. We're going to keep our wings up. We want to keep our wings up when there's a snipe spammer because we don't want to take any damage that we don't have to, and we can reflect it back to them. We have a stam sork here. See a radiant spam. One guy was radiant spamming, so we're going to inhale just in case because that's also interrupts. This guy over here is taking a bunch of damage, so we're going to go focus him. He gets soul assault right here, now he's dead. This guy's taking a bunch of damage. He gets a soul assault, now he's dead. So we had a stamina Templar show up. The 3-on-4 turned into a 3-on-3, and they got killed pretty quickly. That guy's dead because of purifying light and the dots. This guy's going to get inhaled, burning breath to keep our heals up, and a whip plus jabs and other people. Now they're dead. Now we're on the flag. We're taking the resource back. Trying to get this flipped because they're going to spawn right over there to our upper right. Yeah, you can see there in an outnumbered situation, we want to kind of line of sight. We can use our talons to avoid some damage. So if we lock them in talons, we hit with an inhale, that's a heal. We can get behind them with talons and really force them to go on the defensive. And they can't focus as easily as they normally could as long as we kite a little bit there. You see them coming back here. I'm going to take my spot in the front because I have wings and I want to make sure my guys here don't take any damage. That guy gets to low health right away. I have a soul assault up. I soul assault him, he's dead. Now we see these 3 guys in a Destro ulti go on this other guy that's with us. We see a Dark Flare spammer in the back. This guy runs away. We see 3 people run down this hill after him. And we can chase them, but we're not very fast, and we have this fight right in front of us. We have a 2-on-1 right here with our buddy. We don't know if that other guy's going to die or not. We have no idea what his health is right now. He could already be dead. And that's unfortunate. It would have been nice to go help him out, but we have a 5-on-3 right here. And so we decided to help our friend out that we know is alive and try and narrow this fight down to a 2-on-3. So we're going to focus Templar right here. We hit with our inhale and a hit with our igneous to get our stamina up, our burning, our coagulating. We're going to put our dots on him. And now we see these guys came back up, and then we got a 3-on-2. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to apply my talons. I'm going to block cast, get my heals up, hit him with fossilized, hit him with inhale. And now I'm just taking a bunch of damage because I'm getting hit with jabs. I'm getting hit with scoria. I'm getting hit with purifying power of the light, the green one. And you saw I went from full stamina to no stamina. So I tell my buddy, I'm like, dude, this is too much pressure for me. They're hitting me pretty hard. I have to kite a little bit. I'm going to go underneath. So I go underneath. Buddy drops down 2. So we have a 2-on-3 right here. This guy is spamming Radiant. And for whatever reason, I thought it was a Soul Assault. And I was trying to catch him in his Soul Assault. When you're in a channel, you can't do anything while you're out of it, or while you're in it, unless you cancel out. So oftentimes when I see people on the offensive with Soul Assault, I go on the offensive. And so I saw a chance to try and take him out there. There's other Templars, they're spamming Breath of Life. He gets out of it, he hits Breath of Life. They go back to full health. And we have you saw the poison injection dot just spamming above us. So now once again what we're going to do is we're going to get away from their spawn, and we're going to get farther away from their spawn so they just can't spawn right back and fight us again. So I'm trying to be the one in the back. I'm popping my wings. We're going to have Dark Flare spammers. We saw a Javelin there. We have a guy hitting poison injection. My buddy said to back up a little bit farther. He was close to full resources. He was waiting on his pot. So we're going to back up. And so now they're gap closing us. We have our wings up. That lasts every 4 seconds. We just got hit with a rend. And so now we're going to keep our dots up. We're going to keep our inhale. We saw a burning breath right there. We saw coagulating. We have a double soul assault on this guy. We really go for it right there. So we have a 2-on-4, and there's 2 Templars. And we saw a guy not healing because he had 2 Templars with him. My buddy hit him with a soul assault, and he took a bunch of damage. So that was a chance to turn the 2-on-4 into a 2-on-3 and eliminate some damage from us. So we do the exact same thing. We double ulti. We kill him. They did the right thing by going on the offensive, but I have a Magicka Templar buddy with me. My coagulating heal's pretty good. We get back up to full. We're back in the fight. So now it's 2-on-3. We're going to go to focusing on the Templars. That guy over there is trying to revive. We break this, fossilize him. The other guy respawned. So still a 2-on-3, but now we see a Destro ulti. So now we're going to pop our coagulating. We're going to use our Mistform to get out. We're basically going to keep CCing them. We have our Soul Assault up here. Try to put pressure on a guy popping a Destro ulti. It doesn't work. He pops Breath of Life, gets out of it. My buddy put his Soul Assault on him, and while all this fight's going on in the middle of this scrum, a red comes in with Proxy, Soul Tether, Bomb, and tries to take us all out. It's a pretty good bomb, but he doesn't kill anybody, so none of us die, luckily. None of us get hit by Vicious Death. We back out of that part of the fight a little bit, and then just go back to putting our wings up and refossilizing people, keeping our heals up with Inhale, Burning Breath. You see the Burning Breath go off there. We see the Burning Embers go off there. We use our Mistform to line of sight a little bit just to get away. We see one guy go down. Our Stamplar buddies showed up, so the 2-on-3 turned into a 3-on-3, and they got wiped. Yeah, so pretty good fight. Just trying to really highlight how we utilize our heals in like a scrum situation, because we can control how we get hit and what we do with Mistform and Talons. So we decided this is another fight. We decided to come onto this flag. We see there's 3 people there. We pop wings, and we know there's reds behind us. We knew there's a group of 4 reds. So we see yellows there, and we see reds behind us, and the reds spawn right up there. And we don't want to get caught in between them, because basically what happens is the reds are going to hit us, the yellows are going to hit us, and now we got a 2-on-4 versus another 2-on-4, essentially a 2-on-8. And we don't want to engage in those odds, so we're going to back up into this room and see who comes after us first. So we pop our wings. We're getting hit by the NPCs. The NPCs are also CCing us, knocking us down. So the 2-on-3 or 2-on-4 is actually a lot worse with the NPCs. This guy comes in. We hit him with a fossilized. He dodge rolled. So a dodge roll fossilized already means he's basically out of resources. We're going to focus him hard and try and get the kill before the other guys show up. We see a guy over here. He's Dark Flare spamming, so we know we're going to put our wings up. We hear it. He hits the first one. We catch the next one. One of our blue friends showed up, so now we have 3 people in here. We're going to focus this red all at the same time since he's here by himself. Way too much pressure in a 3-on-1 situation right there. His other buddy shows up, but he's a little bit too late to the party. I don't think he knew that there were yellows in here. We have another Templar right here. We're going to lock him in. He Mistforms out of it. We try to hit him with a Soul Assault while he's in Mistform, because he can't take any healing while he's in it. He had Purifying Light on him. We were hoping to get a really good pop there before his Breath of Life went off. Didn't work out. So now we're just kind of peppering him a little bit, seeing what's going on. We have this random blue come in, and we decide, you know what, fuck it. If he's going in, we're going to go in too. We accidentally hop into a Destro ulti. So I hit my Inhale. I hit an Inhale on a bunch of ads. That's a really big heal. I'm going to pop my Igneous. I'm going to pop my Coagulating. My buddy's popping Breath of Life, which is keeping me healed up. Hardcast the Frag. We got an Interrupt. We're locking everybody in Talons. That Sork does a good job of not dodge rolling out of it. As I said in another video, that's a huge mistake that Sorks make, is they dodge roll out of Talons when they could just stack shields through it. Right there, I know my buddy can stay alive against 2 Templars. He's pretty tanky. But what we cannot stay alive against is NPCs constantly negating us. So I focus the NPCs there. and I try to take out the NPC so we can go into killing the yellows. So now we're hitting this guy with a Fossilized, we hit him with a Burning Breath, we're hitting him with an Our Embers, and now we're going to hit him with a Soul Assault and really try and pop him out. But he spams Breath of Life, does a good job there, misforms out. We're going to inhale these guys, we're going to pop Igneous, keep our stamina up. He's Soul Assaulting our buddy. We're going to hit him with a Fossilized here. We're going to hit him with our dots. Grotthor goes off. Now we have an inhale. We're whipping him. Just trying to put a bunch of pressure on him. Now we have our buddy hitting with a Soul Assault. We fossilize him so he takes some damage. Just a bit of a scrum here. And this is kind of how fights are right now with a good group of Templars. The fights just last a while. And luckily they're adjusting this so that these fights don't take as long as they do. I hit him with a Soul Assault there. He took a bunch of damage. We have a guy here hitting with that. We have a Sork here. We're going to put our dots on the Sork, and then we're going to go back to putting our dots on the Templar. They try and interrupt my buddy toppling charges. We kill him. We hit him with Burning Embers, Purifying Light, and Power of the Light on this guy. And this is going to pop, and he's going to die like instantly. So I'm going to go back really quick. Yeah, right here. So for priority targets, when you see fights like this, we want to focus. We want to get purifying. We want to get our buddies Purifying Light on somebody, but we also, if we're running with a guy that's not in our group, that's a Stamplar, and we see Power of the Light, we want to try and get all those dots on the same person, because that also copies stored damage. And whenever we see this big green beam, that's who we kind of want to try and focus. So you see here. You see there, like there's a Power of the Light. You'll see here in the future, we missed that one, but we'll see another Power of the Light literally like right up here. And we're going to go to focusing on that one, which I guess that's not the part I was thinking about, but that's okay. We have another one coming up. So we're really trying to focus those, and as long as we can really focus those and do damage, you see right here, our guy's focusing the same guy, and so now we're hitting a Soul Assault, and you see both the Purifying and Power of the Light pop, and that's how we took out that Templar. If we didn't focus that guy right there that was hit with both of those and do a bunch of damage to him so that they would both pop, we might still be fighting this fight. So now we're going to focus the other Templar. These guys both have Purifying Light on them. I was trying to put my dots on that guy, but didn't work. We now have dots right there. He explodes, and now this, as I said before, this guy's going to take a bunch of dots, and he's just going to stack wards. There's not really much else he can do, and you see it explode, and you see him die. So, yeah, that's the end of that fight. So, sorry about that. So that's going to be the end of this this video. Hopefully, I explained it well. I know in the last videos I did defense and offense. Defense with this is block casting and using our heals. A lot of our heals are offensive. So when you go into a fight, you want to make sure your inhale's going off. You want to make sure your Burning Embers are applied on at least a couple of people. And you want to get them locked in Talons, because your Flame Lash, when you set them off balance, your Flame Lash also heals you. So on a DK, you have Coagulating. Igneous gives you major mending. It also returns stamina. It's also a shield. It makes you more tanky. And then you have a Coagulating heal. You have a Burning Breath heal, or you have a Burning Embers heal. You have an Inhale heal, and your Flame Lash, when your Talons are up, is also a heal. So when you're in these fights, you want to kind of make sure you have all those up at the same time. And it's not an easy fight to have. Oftentimes when I'm on my DK, I'm bouncing from line of sight area to line of sight area. Being caught in the open on a Magicka DK isn't the best scenario when you face these really outnumbered fights with an unblockable Destro ulti, with Soul Assault that does a bunch of damage, and if it doesn't, it drains your stamina. Like, all this stuff is pretty rough. So really pick and choose where you want to get to. You want to find a spot to where you can turtle up a little bit and turn the fight into something more manageable, to where you can control what's going on with your Talons, with your Inhale, with your Whips, and your Burning Embers. That's the main goal. Like, a Magicka DK's best strength is being able to control a fight. And if you can control the fight, and you can control like how people move on the battlefield with those things, and you can just slowly see who's losing resources, who's not purifying, who's not doing these things, you're going to be a lot more effective. And with this playstyle, I think heavy armor is a must. As I said, before, like heavy armor is just vital for a Magicka DK. So hopefully this was useful. Hopefully I explained myself well. If I didn't, please comment in the section below. Explain, ask your questions, and if I didn't explain it thoroughly enough, I can post another video like this. So with all that being said, have a nice day.